brake pads, that, and that. I need the rope. So, I'm gonna do a full big brake kit on the fit. Also, I'm gonna do a axle swap in the rear, or not an axle, it's a trailing arm. People call it an axle though. Rear trailing arm swap in the rear with a CRZ. That's why over here I got really big temporary conversion from 5x114.3 to 4x100, just so that I could run my wheels. Starting on this backwards, usually I would start with the harder stuff, so the rear trailing arm, but I'm starting up front just because I don't want to be here all night doing the rear. I decided to go with some 4-pot Willwoods. I know that you're able to do a really easy OEM one, OEM big brake kit with some CRV calipers and Mini Cooper rotors, but I really like this blue, and I got a shift knob that is really close to the color of this, so I think that'd be really cool, and it contrasts really well with the orange of the car. So the original ones are one pot pistons, I think. I have no idea about the stock brakes, but these I know are 4-pot pistons. Big boys, big, sexy banana brakes, bro. Willwood. I'm gonna jack up the car and get to it. One thing with this kit, I loosened them to the car, but most people know how to take off the wheel. All right, so I did a bit of a costume change, but as we can see, this is the caliper we're going to be changing out. I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fully take off the caliper and the brake line from up here. I am not going to drain it out of the top, and for the reasoning is because I'm just going to rip this boy out. I got this car used for $4 grand. Guy before me had some Amazon struts and shocks and springs completely blown out. And I took this thing on the Tail of the Dragon with those blown out suspension components, and it was really fun. I have pictures, I'll put them up, but it was really fun. But very janky on the drive up in there and back, because Tennessee has a lot of really bad potholes for some reason. Like, it's so flat, like how you have so many potholes. But every time we'd hit something, the bottom of the car would scrape, and it was crazy to me, because I was like, dude, what the heck is wrong with this thing? Also, homie told me when I bought it, yeah, we never changed the brakes out, never been changed, and the body of the car has 398,000 miles on it, so closer to $500,000 than to 100,000, you know? Engine's been replaced, it's only on like 72,000 miles, a lot of issues. So, these are coming off, and I'm going to fit the new ones, the new rotors, new calipers actually, just to see how they look. I like to call this one the pata method. Boom. He's out of there. What is the word? We'll brake rotor off. Yonk! Let's get all this out of here. For the hose, I brought a handy dandy Tupperware that I'm just gonna have down here on the floor. expect it to bust that quick. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Better clean stock brake. All right, so I just had a thought before putting that on. Let's go ahead and throw in the brake line. I'm actually using some from a CRZ. Is because the fronts are all the same from this car to a CRZ. The brakes and the brake line are the same. It's the rears that are different, and because I'm using a CRZ rear trailing arm in the rear, I need to have CRZ brake lines. I found an Allen key. I forgot that Willwood is American based. They don't use the greatest measuring system ever, metric. So I gotta find a 3/16 Allen key to pop this open. This is the CRZ rear trailing arm. Clearly, it's not very clean, but there's no big, I don't know, just no big dents, nothing like that. I got it off a front end kind of like just messed up car. It wasn't like completely totaled, but you could tell it was like in a front end accident. Upgrades, people, upgrades. So yeah, I'm going to clean this thing off a little bit, wipe it down, and just do it, I guess. That last clip was a little while ago. Basically what had happened was the brake lines are different on the Honda Fit than they are on the CRZ. I didn't know that. Maybe I didn't look at the Reddit page. There is a Reddit page that has a guy who did like full CRZ rear trailing arm. So he has like the whole thing done. I looked at it, and so that's why I was like, oh, I know for sure that the rear trailing arm will fit, but like in terms of like brake stuff, I thought it just all kind of went together the same. It's probably like the most expensive steel braided brake line kit ever, because you gotta get hoses for the front, hoses for the back to fit on, or onto from the fit hard line to the CRZ rear caliper, and then you have to get the fit stock soft line that they have. So it's like, it's gonna be like, I think $170 worth of brake lines, which for some cars might not be crazy, but for a Fit, it's kind of crazy to me. But makes sense, I guess. It's like a goofy car, and plus you're buying 3 sets of hoses, so yeah, goofy stuff. I'm gonna get to work. I gotta be quiet. It is currently 3:30 in the morning, so let's get to it step by step. So in the car, pretty simple. There is a screw back here in this this rear cup holder. Easy peasy. Pull this up. This piece you could just pick out. It's a little plastic piece for the emergency brake. So it is different than the CRZ. The CRZ just has like a plate that screws into the back. But what most people do is they use the RSX rear brake cables. But what I want to kind of try and do is see if I could use these cables and the CRZ's ones. If not, I'm okay with running no emergency brake for a little while. For these, it's actually really easy to get out once they're loosened. Welcome to the back seat. The cables go in. Don't gotta mess with any of the back. They terminate right here. They have like little rubber grommets that the cables actually come through from the bottom up to the top. Just get a thin screwdriver and you push on the top half of the grommet. So it's like this. So you get the screwdriver and you're just gonna push that grommet in and push it down. I do believe you have to go underneath the car. It feels like there's like something blocking, but I'm gonna just push as much as I can through and then hop underneath there and see what's going on. So this plate is in our way. This is the fuel filler tube. Comes in and I believe it connects to our fuel tank. That kind of sits flat right underneath our driver's seat right here, right? And so these, this right here and then this right here are our two emergency brake cables. So those come in and they are right underneath here. Go through and take off all the little brackets for the emergency cable all the way through. Yeah, and then figure out where to go in terms of getting around this this fuel filler hose thingy. All right, so here's what I learned. Right here, I have the Honda Fit cable. This grommet is what is in between, right? And it doesn't seem like it's too hard to pull off. It's just rubber. I think the hard part is going to be pushing it back in. But other than that, it's just a cable. So the difference between this cable and the CRZ cable, CRZ has mounting. So this is how it's mounted in the CRZ. It's just 4 bolts, 2 for this cable, 2 for the other one. And there's like a whole little bottom plate. It sits like this. And so that gasket that's on the Fit is pretty much this for the CRZ. Next, in the back, for the rear calipers, this is how the emergency brake looks. Instead of a knob or a ferrule, I don't know what they're called, dude, a little doing. It has an open end because it hooks in to the end of the, I don't know, this little tab for the calipers. Looking at them, they are the same lengthwise. So I think these are gonna work. They're a little bit longer, but I think these are gonna work fine. And I mean, by a little bit longer, I mean maybe 1.5 inches. That's it right there, the end to the end. So what I'm gonna try and do is go in and grind all of this extra bracket off, and then take this grommet off, put it on here, and then this will be the new brake cable. Now these mounts are for the CRZ, but I'm pretty sure a couple of them will fit on the Fit's rear end, and then that'll just be my e-brake line, hopefully. This is the little bit of a plan change. So I don't currently have my Dremel, so I'm gonna get started on removing this trailing arm, starting off with this brake line. That looks like that's all the connections. That's brake, emergency cable, and then this thing, just throw it up here. The little sensor, probably gonna just keep that one because it's already, the ABS sensor is already in there. Then you just do the same thing on the other side. And then it'll be bolt here, and then another long bolt there. Yeah, so the other side is a little different. Brake line is soft and then leads to on top. So here, it's draining right now, but the soft line on this side connects up top. So it's completely different than the other side, which is dumb. But then it goes from here up and then into the back of the drum, which is right here. I think what I'm gonna have to do is hard line out of here, loop, and then right here, soft line. One bolt here, one more bolt right here. Ratchet. Easy peasy, out. Next side. Now that both bolts are out, we should be okay to go ahead and pull this thing. You gotta be careful because it's just being held up by a bunch of bits of plastic, and you also don't want it to rip and pull on your brake lines. I'm basically just gonna go in there and yank on it like it owes me money until it comes out. On the other side and voila. Biggest difference, clearly, is one is drum brakes, one is disc brakes. Also, one is 4x100, the other is 5x114. Another thing is the Honda Fit's more for practicality, so not like sporty handling. So look at this, I could move that a good bit. I know it looks more like my hand is moving, but you could see it moving there. Versus if I go over here and apply some of the same force, like that is really stiff. I'm really trying. So the OEM bushings are a lot stiffer than the Honda Fit's OEM. So now, on the other side, I'm in the pocket. I'm gonna try and get that bolt in first, and then use the jack to push up this side to get this bolt in. I'm hoping that's easy. All right, I got the other side in, but holy poo-poos, that sucked. And it sucked bad. I mean, oh my gosh. I don't know now if I just made this 1,000 times harder or a billion times easier. Yeah, we are for sure going to find out here in a bit when I start jacking this side up and trying to put it in. I guess it was a billion times easier. Get one side in, find the angle. That way you don't gotta ratchet strap it. And then just jack the other side up. If you have the stock springs, it's just put them back in the way they came out. If you don't have the stock springs, then put them back in the way they came out. As you can see, It's in. Yeah. So also, the brake line. So the hard line, it was gonna be, I was planning on cutting it back here, but I connected the steel braided brake line in the back, and so when I put on the caliper, the brake line looked like it was fine. So all I did was I have a, if you think about the brake line, it comes out, down, does a little, like a little D formation, loops, and it goes into the hard line where it like would mount in the back of the original brake, the drum brake, right? Like, let me show you. This loop is the goofiest looking thing. And it just comes and loops around, and then it goes all the way back. So super goofy. I plan to change that. In terms of this swap, it is, I wouldn't say it's the most difficult thing in the world. It can be a little difficult. If you know how to change your brakes, if you've done a little bit of suspension work, then it should be fine. It is a pain in the butt in some spots, but it's nothing too crazy. But yeah,